Hello,
Ba, ba, ba,
and
ba.
welcome to episode 51 of JDUB and Friends, with the one, the only, that one, Andrew. How you doing tonight?
It's true. I am the one and the only that one. That's why I'm not called that too, Andrew. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, can't complain. Levin's supposed to be here, so he might pop in. We'll see. Um, Now tonight, it's been a while since I've done this. Last episode I did was the Super Bowl, so tonight we're gonna talk about FIFA World Cup. No,
I think my
actually,
audience would tune out right away the
right.
second you say that.
Surprise! Oh no, this year is a big year. 25th anniversary of the Persona series
30th.
start. Or 30th, yeah,
30th
25th,
anniversary.
30th anniversary. I
Yeah.
don't know, it's the 25th, 30th.
It's
I'm
flying
old.
like crazy.
Yeah, 30th anniversary. Persona's coming out, is this year. Uh, and I guess we're eating good technically because what was last week? I think it was last week now. It might have been this week. Persona 4 Revival was shown a little bit at the
hmm
Summer Game Fest and also on Xbox's announcements. They showed that Persona 6 is being made.
Yep.
Now, I'm probably in the minority here. I'm not really too excited for the new Persona remake. I, from watching the trailer, I was like, yeah, kind of, it doesn't look like it has the same amount of love as Golden did, and I feel like Golden was a perfect game. You don't really need to remake Golden. You know, it's just, something about it was
yeah.
just perfect, and it just, I don't know. I'm not excited for revival.
Yeah, that's fair, and that's actually I think a common sentiment. Me and Levin actually talked about this a couple of days ago. We had a little Persona podcast where we were like, "All right, let's react to the revival trailer," and then we talked a little bit about Persona 6, even though there's not much to talk about. It's basically a logo, and you get a little atmosphere going on, which is cool.
Right.
Um, but as far as these remakes go, I definitely had the same reaction when Persona 3 Reload
Hmm.
was shown off back in what was that, 2022, I think, is when it was first announced, and then we got it in 2023, if I recall, 2023 or 2024.
Hmm.
One of those years. I can't remember the exact date, but regardless, I also felt the same way of like, I don't really. I'm still adjusting to the Persona 5 style, the art style of it. Do these games even need a remake? We already have. Well, in Persona 3's case, we had three versions of Persona 3 at that point. We had Portable, Fez, and the OG. So it's like we're having a fourth version of it.
Hmm.
Um, and in hindsight, regardless of my own personal feelings, because at the end of the day, things are um, subjective. It's like, how do we feel about them? And you're gonna make the best game in the world, and someone goes, "Oh, that's crap. I hate that." It's like,
Hmm.
well, that's fair. That's your opinion. But seeing the influx of people and new fans play these games has definitely made me appreciate these remakes more. My wife, she actually started with Persona 5 Royale, and then she did go back and beat Persona 4 Golden, but I will say that it was a challenge for the longest time. I wanted her to start with Persona 4 Golden, and she just couldn't because it was too old. It's like it's a PS2 game, and it's not very user friendly, and things like that. So I am excited in that perspective of like the new audience can come in, and this legendary game is accessible and it looks modern and all those different things.
Right. Exactly. Hello, Levin.
The 10 more years of discourse. You have me live in my workplace, at least for about 12 minutes.
Oh,
So
nice.
make it count.
There you go. Yeah, Levin Lightsaber, everybody. We were just talking about Persona 4 Revival. I said I'm not really excited about it, and he was comparing to Persona 3 Reload being announced. Are you excited for Persona 4 Revival, or are you kind of feeling like, let's see what happens?
This is my favorite game of all time being remade. They have one chance to remake it. I've said this many times. You only get one chance to remake a game, so you got to remake it right. And visually, so far, I think they are. Now, everything else in between, that's a wait and see. We can't really judge based on one little trailer. Although there are a lot of small details I notice more and more every day. Literally after we recorded with Andrew, I told him, like, Train 1, like, oh my god, they have they reference it the hallway from the Persona 4 vanilla title screen. That's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like like I was telling Andrew a little bit ago, I feel like Persona 4 Golden was the perfect game. They didn't really need to remake it. I think, they moved it to all the consoles. I think it was just perfect. And now it's like, did we really need it? Because, I mean, they're going to change all the voice actors, which is
Mhm.
negative, I believe, because I feel like they had the perfect cast for Golden. I
Yeah.
mean,
You want to talk
You
about
want to,
perfect
let me,
cast?
let
Yeah.
me, let me just shut you down right now because here's the problem, man. A
mhm,
lot of the voice actors, except for Yukiko, Yosuke, and the protagonists, have all been changed once, and some of those voice actors probably won't come back. Now, if
right.
you can get them all back, I would be all over it. But like you're telling me, you're going to get the voice actor, Troy Baker, you're going to get Laura Bailey back, which Laura I feel more likely than Troy. But then what about someone like Naoto's voice actress who left because she wanted to? She felt she was done with the character.
hmm
Nothing
Hmm.
bad. She just didn't want to voice her anymore. And like that's if you don't want to, you don't want to. If you're done, you're done. You
I
can't
understand.
force them to come back. So
Yeah.
like if you couldn't get them all back, I'd rather you just recast everyone
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it would if everyone let's say if everyone but Naoto came back, then you would always be paying attention to and scrutinizing that Naoto because she's not matching the original or the
Mm,
second one, or the third one,
Yeah.
which everyone want to compare to, and that's just not fair.
mm,
Even now, I feel like some of these voice actors are going to get harassment just because like, oh, that's not Aaron Fitzgerald's Chie, that's not my Chie, that's not my Yosuke,
mhm.
that's not my
Hmm.
Kanji. Like,
Yeah.
you should be a little more impartial and not so angry out the gate because if that's how you're going to be, you're never going to be happy. You're just going to be miserable. And I know that's rich coming from me, but that's how it is. Just chill out and
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
also,
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that me and Levin, we also talked about when we were discussing the voice actors last time. We were talking about how like it would also be kind of jarring and weird having this remake, and it's like, okay, everything's new, the combat's new, the graphics are new, we might even add new areas and new activities and stuff,
Mhm.
but the voices are exactly the same. It's like, well, that's kind of weird, right? It's like that's a little strange.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I just
Someone might mod the game to have all the old voice lines anyway. Like, I feel that's going to happen.
probably. I don't know. I feel like, I mean, they did change some of the voice actors from 4 to Golden, but I think a lot of them that they changed from 4 to Golden were for the better. And
Yeah.
It's just
that's
for
I guess
TA.
what I'm worried about.
TA and Teddy that have changed.
Yeah. And they've also like through the spin-offs and stuff, like Rise changed from Laura Bailey to Ashley Birch and stuff. And then like Kanji changed from Troy Baker to Matt Mercer. So they've done voice changes already. And you know, I think they had those characters imitate the
Mhm.
original voice actors, at least after like for the spin-offs. But it worked pretty well. So
Mhm.
I trust in them. And especially after Reload, where none of it was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Like I think they did a pretty solid job on all the voice actors for Reload.
Mhm.
So they have my trust now that
Yeah.
whatever they're gonna do. I think the only one from the trailer, and again, it's a very short trailer.
Mhm.
Um, but like when I hear Yosuke's voice, I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds like Yosuke. That sounds like even Chie. Like I love Aaron Fitzgerald, but like
Mhm.
she still sounds, the new voice actor still has embodies that like attitude and that like kind of the way that she talks.
Mhm.
It's just in a little different style. But Teddy sounded a little weird. It sounded almost like
Yeah.
OG Teddy rather than what's his name? The guy that had done it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Not Dave Wingberg, Teddy, aka the voice of Kakashi. It's Sam Riegel. Now,
Sam Riegel. Yep.
yeah, we didn't hear Teddy with how he sounds when he gets like his more playful self, because he doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I hope they nail, because there's actually a whole weird thing to Teddy. The the translation never really portrayed how like Yosuke, a lot of Yosuke's mannerisms in the Japanese version actually reflect on Teddy to show like, yeah, Teddy's like this because of Yosuke's bad influence, and that's his karma for
Hmm.
being, for being a bit of a degenerate. Sometimes it slips up, and Teddy copies him. There's other things. There's a Twitter post that had that very well, and I would need to find it and post it. But yeah, I hope they do Teddy's translation a little more justice for this
Hmm.
one. I still prefer Teddy 10 times more than Morgana, though. At least that there's telling me to go to sleep.
Yeah, that was like when 4 to 5 when 5 came out for the first time and they went in the Velvet Room and the voice actor for oh, what's his name? I Igor
Igor. Hmm.
was totally different from Persona 4 Gold. It threw me for a loop for a second. I was like, what
Yeah,
in the world?
that's Kurt Thornton. That's Shadow. That's
Yeah.
Yujiro from Baki.
Hmm. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
what in the world's going on? Then I figured out there was a little bit of story behind why um I guess the Japanese one changed because the original voice actor died apparently before.
yeah, he died
Yeah,
during Persona 5's development. They didn't want to change it, but obviously going forward, you have to make that choice at some point.
Yeah. So I was
which
like, huh.
traditionally in traditional Japanese media, they would just kill the character off too. So it was interesting, and I mean, for selfish reasons, I like that they kept Igor,
Hmm.
and I'd be interested to see if he continues in Persona 6.
Yeah.
But the character's kind of like, I mean, obviously iconic. He's one of the only characters that appears in every single title. But that'd be interesting to see if they do continue using
Yeah.
him since that voice actor died.
Yeah. I'm excited. We'll see what's gonna happen with the new one. Speaking of, 6 was announced. They didn't really show much. They kind of just showed the logo. I guess for both of y'all, start with Levin because you have a little less time before you have to get up, start driving home. Uh, what do you want from 6? What are you looking forward to?
I feel like everybody's going to start expecting it. As far as we hear other people talking, um, I feel like everybody's going to be expecting it to be something like more horror-esque, jump
Mm,
scares, maybe creepypasta tier writing.
mm,
And like, I feel like if you're just expecting it to be super dark, super edgy, with heaven forbid a character have a joyful moment in that game, you're just gonna disappoint yourself. Because that's what Persona 3 fans hate Persona 4 fans because of like, oh, it's Scooby Doo, it's funny, there's smiling. My game is dark and edgy and serious. I don't think we played the same game, but like, I will tell you, I don't think the theme is death like some people think because of the cemetery. I believe it's fear.
mm.
It falls in line with the Persona game because if you want to get your Persona, you gotta usually show no fear against conflict, rise up against it, and face it head on. So I feel like
Right.
facing your fears falls in line with that theme.
Yeah, I agree on that. Now, do you um do you think they'll kind of follow more the Persona 4 Golden type of story or type of game, or do you think it'll be more like Royal?
I don't know, man. I feel like it's going to be shifting a bit more since from 5 to 6. That's what they always do. They push the gameplay envelope further and further. Maybe they take stuff from Metaphor, but it's way too soon to say.
Hmm. Now, Andrew, do you feel like Persona 6 is a going to be a big hit for them, or you think it's going to be kind of like how 5 was, where a lot of people loved 4 and 5 kind of was like, it was all right,
Well,
but it wasn't
see,
4.
a lot of people loved 4 and said, five's all right. Persona 4 Golden before 5 came out, I think had sold 600,000 copies.
Hmm.
Persona 5 has sold over like 7 million. So even though
Yeah.
the OG fans are like, now I do think we will see that same type of response since it is, I've always said, your favorite Persona game is probably your first Persona game, unless you're playing Persona 1.
Right.
That's usually how it goes. You're going to connect with those characters. You're going to playing through those systems and having the social aspect and then the dungeon crawling aspect. Oh, we're not doing this again, you Alexa ding dong. I remember to unplug that every time I'm doing a podcast. but you know, having those types of like, okay, yeah, I love 5 because 5 was my first one, and people who played 5, they love how deep it is and how much there's to do, and they like the characters and stuff like that. So
Right.
going to the next game, it might be a little more like, you know, yeah, it's good. It's no 5, but it's good. However, I will say, and I can only say this about, you know, from like personal experiences and stuff, but people who played 5 and then played Reload and are looking forward to 4 don't seem to have the same reaction that OG Persona fans had. Because
Right.
OG Persona fans, it was like Persona 3 is out. Awesome. Love this. Persona 4 comes out. Dog shit. This is the worst thing ever. I hate this. And then Persona 5 comes out. Oh my gosh, this isn't Persona 4. You know, like the OG
Yep.
fans were like that, but now it's a little more mainstream.
Mhm.
And I think with the mainstream, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I just mean I think it's
Right.
good actually. I think it's great when games go mainstream, because it just means they're more popular and you're going to keep getting more of that game.
Right.
But I think with the mainstream audience who's more in, it like doesn't take it so seriously, and like, you know, they are literally there for a good time. Like I like the social aspects and stuff. I think they're gonna vibe with 6 really well, and I think leaning a little more into the horror aspect of it is a
Mhm.
good call, because it is kind of like going back to its roots.
Right.
Even though Persona 4 Golden is my favorite, it is probably the most, I don't know how to word this, clean of all of them. Like, it's definitely not as morbid and as dark as Persona 1, 2, or 3. Like in Persona 2, there's a high schooler's face melting off in like the first 20 minutes. Like it's kind of a horrific game, and these people become like these soulless inanimate husks and stuff like that. And then Persona 1, 2, or Persona 1 as well. Just kind of a little more dark in its tone of like there's zombies everywhere and these people are dying everywhere and stuff like that, and you're in the hospital and stuff. And then of course Persona 3, which is like the dark one. Ironically, compared to 1 and 2, it's a little less dark. But
Right.
going back to the like those SMT aesthetic roots, I think would be really good for that mainstream target too, because there's a lot of JRPGs out there now, and a lot of them have been taking inspiration from Persona. The Trails games, the like
Mhm.
Trials of Cold Steel and Trials in the Sky and all that stuff, they seem to be going the Persona route. Even stuff like Fire Emblem is like
Mhm.
more so every single time doing that.
Yeah.
But they're all kind of reflecting Persona 4 and Persona 5, because I feel like it's risky and it could alienate your audience being like, oh, this is like dark and this is scary. So Persona going to that route, I think that the fans are generally going to like it, because it's going to feel refreshing at that point, especially after these remakes. You
Yeah.
play 5, you play 3, you play 4. They all have similar vibes. Okay, let's get into something that's a little more. Yeah, you're still going to be in high school. You're still
Mhm.
going to be doing all that stuff, but hopefully, like, I don't know, maybe you live at a cemetery or something. I have no idea what the hell you're gonna do from that trailer.
Haunted house. Woo! No.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Actually, Persona is 30 years old this year. Persona 1, obviously put on the map, was released in 1996, so it's
Mm-hmm.
craziness. I was 6 years old when Persona came out, so
Oh yeah, me not. I saw it a year to go in Levin, and
yeah.
then I popped out.
Then you're like, a surprise. By that time, Persona 2 was being thought about. Um,
Probably why
now,
it's like one of my favorite ones. It's
yeah.
the first one I saw as a baby. I was like, what's that?
Now, Persona 1, if anybody's played it, is way different from 3, 4, and 5. I would say that 3, 4, and 5 learned a lot from 1. Um, 1 kind of, started the whole story of, we're high school kids and,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to take different paths and, see where it leads, and personas and everything was created at that point. But when you started playing, how much of Persona 1 have you played, Andrew?
I've played probably halfway through. the portable version of it.
Mhm.
And I've dabbled in the original version, but that was more so for like, oh, this is quaint. Like, let me pop in the PS1 disc because I have it and play it, and then proceed and go, oh my god, no. Oh my god, no. That game didn't get good reviews when it came out. And that was the expectation of like, yeah, games aren't going to look good or run good. But that game, people were like, no. And now, you want to talk about a game aging poorly?
Yeah.
Persona 1 has not aged well
Mhm.
at all. But I think the remake's not too bad.
I
The
was about to say,
PSP remake.
yeah. The PSP is the first time I actually played the game was on the PSP. I didn't play it on PS1 because obviously it's expensive to find a PS1 now.
It is now. Like, it's ridiculously. And that's something that, little side note, Persona 5 made the fandom huge. Love that. Ruined the collector's aftermarket. I have receipts from like 2013, 2014 where I bought like Persona 1 on PlayStation 1 and I spent like $55 on it.
Yeah.
And I got Persona 2 for $35. Those two games, Persona 1's like a $400 game now.
Yeah.
And same with Persona 2. Like, it is insane. If only there was some way to play these games for free online that rhymed with Remurator. But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I always call it the Chugga Conroy.
Yeah.
Because no matter when I was playing my Xenoblade Chronicles, it was like I'd seen it multiple times, like 20, 30 bucks. As soon as Chugga Conroy plays an LP of it, it shoots up to 70, 80 bucks. I'm like, son of a gun.
Yep.
And the Sunshine as well. Although I think it's more like people just decided, oh, this game's actually great. Chugga was right. It's actually great. No, you liars. I know you're talking crap.
I think that's why it was YouTubers like Angry Video Game Nerd and stuff to that whole retro aftermarket just became insane for a while. Dude, I saw copies of that shitty ET game on Atari that are actually trying to be sold for like $20. I'm like, no. This game's worth a nickel. Like, if that. Like, this game is trash. We're not gonna do this just because it's quote unquote popular now.
But has a
Might be worth more if you pulled it out of the landfill. Because that's at least history right there. That's a historical artifact. I'd like to see a copy in someone's back bin.
Yep, true. So, Levin, how much of Persona 1 have you played?
I tried to emulate it a long time ago. My computer struggled, and I just said, whatever, this game's probably going to be mid. And sure enough, I couldn't. It's a miracle how it got a sequel. I mean, I'm glad it did, but hey, the PSP OP is actually pretty good. I love that song. I actually heard it long. Do you know what MADs are from Nico Nico Doka?
I do not.
MADs are like think of like Newgrounds.
Okay.
People in Japan with their own exclusive YouTube. They get to be in Japan to even log on. They'll make their own little animated things. Some of them were silly, some of them were serious, and it was like it was an anniversary video where like it plays that song and you just see like the entire cast, not all of them all at once, but just you see like I remember I saw Yukiko with the girl from Persona 1. And you see other characters like they're in some kind of dungeons or vibing, or just like trying to get out work together. Pretty cool. But like that was my first exposure to that song, and like, oh, that's the PSP OP. Cool. I thought it was like some Persona 3 song that slipped through the cracks because it was the lady who sang the Persona 3 songs. So I thought it was like some hidden track that we Americans never had a chance to get.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, well, I could probably give it another try, but I think I'm good.
Now, Persona 1 obviously started the whole series of Persona games. Technically, what was it? Devil Saga and
SMTF was the one that it technically started it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what do you think that Persona 1 did for the rest of the series to make, them exciting now? Do you think they just learned a lot from 1 and 2? They were like, let's make when they made 3, or do you think they weren't really looking at 1 and 2?
Well, This is actually interesting because I just had this thought. Because, like I said, me and Levin talked about this, and I was still I've been processing a lot because Summer Games Fest was insane for me. Like, I jumped up and screamed multiple times on multiple announcements because I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. I got 2 new Final Fantasy games this weekend. That was hype. A lot of just smaller games I was excited about. And then, of course, like Persona, excited about. Ocarina of Time, I'm a huge Zelda fan too. So it was just an insane week, right?
Yeah.
But now that I've kind of marinated on it and processed it, I'm liking, and again, it's just a teaser and it could mean anything. But at least the aesthetic of it and the vibes that they're trying to throw out, I'm liking because it does feel like it's harkening back to Persona 1 and Persona 2 with that more like dark undertone and like, yeah, like people have died in Persona 3 and 4 and 5, but usually it's like a couple. Persona 3 a little more like at the beginning you actually see people kind of like explode into shadows, but it's never really described on like what's going on. Like they're called like the Lost or something like that, or they get apathy syndrome, but then they can be better from apathy syndrome. It doesn't go too in depth about it, and I'm sure there's some art book somewhere that explains it more or some shit, but at least just from the game standpoint. But what I really liked about 5 is that they brought a lot of things back in 5 from Persona 1 and 2. They brought back the demon negotiating. They brought back having actual weapons like guns and stuff to use in there. And there are a couple other things too where there's just like references and stuff they're bringing back. But that tells me they're at least looking at those older games when they're producing the quote modern. Persona 5 is almost 10 years old at this fucking point, so you know it's becoming an old game too. It's technically a PS3 game, technically retro, but my hope is that okay, and it is like, where do you go now? Persona 3 was a moderate hit, Persona 4 a little bigger, but then they set themselves up nicely for Persona 5 to be that blockbuster. Do you just do the same thing again? And I feel like the answer is, well, no, we can't just do the same thing again because A, we haven't done the same thing, and B, they're Atlas for the boneheaded things that they do, and really that goes to like the DLC stuff, which I think is ridiculous. And the whole definitive version stuff that they're still doing. I like it because I grew up in the era and I'm like, yeah, I want to play the game twice. Give me Persona 5 and then Persona 5 Royale. But in 2026, it's a little silly that they still do that. But that being said, they know what they're doing and they have those Atlas surveys consistently, and they know that Persona 2 Remake is always near the top. They know that those hardcore fans are saying like, we want darker stories. We want, to go back to these things. We want Persona 1 and the duology of 2. And in releasing this merchant stuff, they're not leaving it behind. They are still celebrating those older games. They called it like the Origins Collection or something. They changed the name actually, but they had some merch on Amazon. It was called the Persona Origins Collection. And now it's Persona 1 and both of the 2s. But that gives me hope that like they are looking at those things and they do want to incorporate them in some way moving forward.
Right. I agree. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what they could do with like a remake of 1. I feel like there's a lot of money left on the table, especially with how big 5 got, actually made the series. I mean, I know it wasn't, a lot of people didn't like it as much as 4, like I said before, but like with how big 5 is and 6 is probably gonna be massive too, why not go back and remake 1?
So I actually
2.
I have a theory on this. And I think Final Fantasy VII is the perfect example of why we haven't seen a remake yet. And that is Persona 1 and to a actually greater extent Persona 2. Those are massive games. Like massive games. The settings of those games, Persona 2 takes place across this huge city, and you go to like 5 different areas, and there's tons of dungeons that just sprawl and stuff like that. But making that in the kind of 2D pixel art version that they did, that was easy to do back then. They could do it in a year or two.
Right.
But just like with Final Fantasy VII, it's like, okay, they made Midgar on the PS1. It's like 100 polygons. Like it's not much at all.
Yeah.
What does that look like in 2020? Oh my god, this is like we're making a real city, and this is insane. It's going to take us 5 years just to make the game because to make it correctly it'd be so big. So I think that's part of the hang up now on remaking Persona 1 and 2 because Persona 1 is huge. Like it's a 40-hour game, and that's a PlayStation 1 game. So you'd want to redesign it to be like the modern Persona games, have social links and stuff, which means you'd have to redesign it to have a calendar system. But then if you want to be faithful to it, which you want to because it's those original fans that are calling for it, you're going to have to put a ton of dev time into like, how is this setting going to work? How are we going to actually make the dungeons? We're going to have to revamp everything. It was already broken when it was localized. So like, I feel like, ironically, if they remade Persona 1 and or 2, those would be the biggest Persona games like out of all of them. Both like gameplay wise, setting wise, all that. And they probably know that, and that's why they've been hesitant to do it, because they're like, this would be a lot.
Right. I agree. Yeah, it'd just be kind of cool to see if they could do it, you know.
Oh, I'd love it. Like, I would
Obviously,
love it.
I mean, obviously, Ocarina of Time's a big, 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 step for Nintendo. But I mean, like, I mean, we could see. I mean, obviously, they're never gonna remake my game. I want them to remake, but I
Which game is
guess
that? What's the?
Legend Dragoon.
Oh yeah, that's that's always rumored, and people there are people that call for it. So never say never, but that would be that's like me and Parasite Eve. I'm like, Square Enix, please, Parasite Eve, and it's like, what is who the heck is asking for Parasite Eve remake?
Right.
They did make the third birthday though on PSP, so these companies they look at their old IP sometimes and go, okay, what can we do?
Right.
What can we do?
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm hoping, I would hope against hope that they remake it, but even that, Legend of Gaia would be another one, obviously.
Oh, that would be a good one too.
General time frame with Persona 1 and, all those. Now, sadly, Levin left before I got to ask him the question, but what is your favorite Persona from Persona 1? I know that, a lot of them showed up later on in the series, but there are some icons that are in Persona 1.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this. I have to go back and look at what personas are in Persona 1. I know some of them off the top of my head, but like,
I can give you a list.
I don't know all of them.
Yeah, there's Jack Frost, obviously. He's been around forever.
Yeah. And he used to, Jack Frost used to be Atlas's mascot until released Persona 4, and then Teddy kind of took over. And now I think it's just, I don't think they even do mascots anymore. I guess Morgana, but that would be like,
Which, I mean, Morgana was kind of like,
Yeah, people not too big on Morgana. Me being one of them.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch. I mean, obviously Jack Frost, everybody knows. There's also, let me look. I'm looking through some of them right now. Kind of Thor. It's kind of the one that he's popped up a couple times.
Oh, you know what? Succubus.
Oh yeah.
I always got that one, and I like that one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy because a lot of the personas that you see in Persona series are also in the Shimigami Tensei games or the Devil
Digital Devil Saga.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was trying to get out. There's a lot of them in that, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Jack Frost, if everybody doesn't know, he is basically a snowman.
He is. Had his own game on the Virtual Boy, Jack Bros.
Ugh. Yeah.
And I think it's I don't know if it's on the Nintendo Online, but it's going to be on the Nintendo Online soon. So if you want to spend $100 on a piece of plastic and have a Switch 2, you too could play Jack Bros in all of its VR glory.
Right. Yeah, there's Shiva, which a lot of people think of. I always think whenever I hear Shiva, I think of Final Fantasy X though. So
right, that's the problem with Shiva is I'm like that's a summon.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like no, and then it's like, oh yeah, they were in Persona. There's the penis himself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such a bull, and they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep. They're like, really?
Hey, it's iconic though.
Yep.
I guess it worked for what they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, everybody talks about it. Now, what? I mean, obviously, what do you feel like Persona 1 changed with gaming as a
So
whole?
I don't think. I mean, well, when Persona 1 came out, it was very iterative on the SMT series, and it didn't do too many things that were brand new. This I think even the summoning system that I had where you had to like negotiate with demons and get cards and stuff, I think that was all from the older SMT games as well. The only thing that made it mildly interesting, and I use those words intentionally, mildly interesting, was that the whole concept of personas and the whole like cutscene at the beginning with Falmon, they're being like, "Oh, you are, this is a manifestation of your identity and stuff like that." And it was even in the old game the development of the characters and how they interacted, but I will say that that's how a lot of those like the Digital Devil Saga games or even SMT itself, to a lesser extent actually SMT, but
Right.
those other side games, they also had those strengths. And I always said, or I've always felt, I guess I haven't said it, but I've always felt that if you are a fan of Persona 1 or Persona 2, you should definitely keep playing all those SMT DS games, because it's basically just sequels and spin-offs of those games. The
Right.
writing is very similar. I think even some of the same producers worked on those games and stuff like that. So in that sense, Persona 1 had that impact on like those more niche old school style RPGs, JRPGs still existing in some way. Even though its own franchise kind of took a different turn, because at that point too, SMT had started going into the whole 3D dungeon crawling with like SMT3, and then whatever that Xbox One was, I know was also in that same vein as well. So that's kind of the legacy that it continued on, was like, hey, we're still going to do these 2D sprite dungeon crawlers, which I love, by the way. I think the pixel art in Persona 2 is fantastic, especially the PSP remake of it. Like,
Right.
it's truly a really, really gorgeous game to look at, and there's a lot of cool animations through that pixel art. Very underrated in that sense.
Now, why do you think that Persona 1 and 2 are not as beloved as the rest of the series, just because of how much different they are?
I mean, really, I think it's just the social link aspect of it. Like, that is the biggest thing, is that Persona 3 introduced this new way to, like, learn about side characters more and have meaning behind them more. And some members of your party, too. Persona 3 infamously said, nah, we're not going to social link with the guys. The girls, yes, because you can get with them. But the guys, sorry, Junpei, sorry, Akihiko, you're not. Which they did rectify in the remake, which was nice. But I think having that aspect, and then also kind of making it quasi dating sim, quasi, experience this life in Japan, which I know for Western audiences is always appealing. At least it used to be. I think now you can get a dime a dozen game takes place in Japan, and it's like you're in Japan. But back in 2006, that was still very rare. Back in 2006, most games still didn't even get localized in America, which I know you know that.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people, I mean, that stuff we didn't get day and date releases until like, I mean, hell, Persona 5 didn't come out day and date. Persona 5 came out in Japan first, and then it was like 5 months later it came out in America. And ever since then, we've been getting day and date. But even like with Persona 4 Revival, I, as an older fan, go like, is that for everyone? When it says like February, I'm like, is that worldwide? Because we've had this talk before where sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But I think that is why those games aren't as popular. It's just that Persona 3 and 4 really perfected the social link. Like, it perfected it with the whole party. The side characters that you have social links with are interesting, aside from like 2 of them. Freaking whatever the Sun Arcana in that game, I don't know what they were smoking. You get to choose between this annoying band girl or this annoying drama girl, and I'm like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But the rest of them are very solid.
Now, I've always wondered this, and this might be a minority thing, but do you think that Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne actually helped Persona a lot? Just because they added Dante, and Dante was a big, big character at that point.
You know, it's hard because I was like 5 when that game came out, so a lot of it's retrospect. And I also don't, as big of a Persona fan as I am, I don't know too much about the SMT series. Like, I've played SMT4 and I own like 3 and 5 and stuff like that.
Right.
But as far as it helping the Persona series, because that's what you asked, right? Like, did the SMT series help Persona series? I wouldn't say that it did. And you can kind of see that with the way that they labeled the Persona series. Like, a lot of the games, they use the Shin Megami Tensei name until Persona 5. That's when they finally just dropped it.
Yeah.
But even then, like, you look at the cover of Persona 4 and like it's just like a little SMT around the circle. And it's like, technically it's there. It's technically a part of this series, but I remember back in 2012 being a part of the fandom at that point, and people were like, SMT fans were like, that's not an SMT game. It's too easy. like that'd be the argument. It's like, Shin Megami Tensei games are hard and hardcore. Persona's for the babies. That's babies SMT game and stuff like that. So, so I think if anything, it kind of like held it back a little because its own fans, like part of its own fan base, was like, I'm not even going to bother myself with that series because that's the baby series.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know about Persona right away because I was like, oh, I'm gonna check it out, and then Super Genius started playing Persona 3 FES, which was the first time I actually got into watching Persona a little bit. Then you did a whole Let's Play of 4 Golden, which that's the only reason I bought a Vita.
You and probably just about everyone who bought a Vita.
Yep,
I mean, I love my Vita, but
oh yeah, me too.
I also understand that a lot of people got that for like Persona 4 Golden or Uncharted Golden Abyss. That was about it.
Yep. Yeah, because I ended up getting mine used, so I got like Persona 4 Golden at the same time, so I was like, woohoo! And I lucked out because it was cheaper than it ended up going up in price.
Yeah, I'm sure it's expensive now.
Yeah. Actually, it's gone down a little bit in price because of it being now available on most consoles.
I was about to say, actually, it's been ported everywhere, so it would be interesting that version would be expensive.
Yeah, because it's kind of like with Paper Mario: 1,000 Year Door, because that was really expensive on GameCube because it was only on GameCube. Now that it's on Switch, it's like, now there's multiple ways to play it, and now you've lost your kind of, I can only play it here type situation. So
yeah,
I don't know. Now let's say that somebody is never played Persona. Where would you tell them to start?
My soul wants to say Golden, but honestly, I'd say Persona 5 Royale. Okay. Like, I think Persona 5 Royale is the most accessible. It's the most... It definitely captures you right away. Like, as much as I love 4, and 4 is my favorite game of all time. Like, well...
I understand that.
Basically, it's my favorite game of all time. I have like 4 favorite games of all time. Persona 4 Golden is one of them. But I know that intro is long. It's like you're 3 hours in and you're going into the TV for the second time and you're still like just talking and world building and stuff. And if you're not into it, man, it can drag. But Persona 5, I feel like it really hooks you in right away of like, you got the whole like, oh, you're like a criminal or something like that, and then you're going to the new school, and right away Kamoshida, that's his name, right? Kamoshida. Yeah. You're like, oh, well, this is just the biggest asshole on earth. Like, I hate this guy. And then you're in the dungeon really quick, and it's showing Kamoshida, but as like this king, and you have Anne there, and she's acting all that stuff, and it's just really intriguing, and like, I think that's actually one of the weaknesses of 5 for the whole game is that the beginning is so good because it's such a high that it takes a while for the game to reach back to that level. Like it literally takes 60 hours for it to get back up to like, okay, now we're like getting to this point again. But and then also just personal experience like that's what my wife played first. Like I tried to have her play 4, didn't work. Tried 3, don't know what I was thinking because she wasn't into 4. She definitely wasn't into 3. But then Persona 5, it was that like gateway game, and then after that she went back and has been playing through all of them. Because once you get it, you know, like when you're after you played Persona 5 and you start Persona 4, you can get through that 4 or 5 hour slog because you know what's waiting for you. You know those social links are there, and the story is going to be intriguing and crazy and all that other stuff. 3's been a little tougher.
But it takes forever to get into.
Yeah, and even with the remake of Reload, it still has the 250 floor problem. And that dungeon can drag. So that's just something that, you know, they made the choice to keep it, and I totally understand that because like that is the point of the game is here's this huge tower, what's at the top. But definitely I think that's like one of the worst games to have a person who's not into those type of games start out with. Like if you're an ultra mega nerd like me and you just love JRPGs and you know you've played Final Fantasy X and you just grinded for hours and you're okay with that, start with 3. I'm sure you'll be fine. But yeah, for the modern audience, Persona 5 Royale.
See, personally, I'm gonna compare it to Final Fantasy. If you like, let's say Final Fantasy 4, I would say, you know, start Persona 3. I mean, it's still, you know, Persona or Final Fantasy 4 kind of starts a little slow, but once you get past that first little section, that gets real good.
Yeah.
Which same thing as Final Fantasy 4. Now, I would say Final Fantasy 10 is Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah, that's actually a really good comparison. Actually, I mean, both are PS2 games, and both are like, I mean, both are considered some of the best games of all time. And they are much more about like character driven. You're going to have those moments where you know it's going to feel like a PS2 game. It's going to feel like kind of grinding things out, but it's definitely worth it. No, I think that's a really good comparison.
Now, Persona 5, I would say, is more like 15, where you have your fans of it, you have your not fans of it. You know, it's kind of, you know, boy band / not boy band, whatever you want to call it.
More accessible is what I'd say. Yeah,
but
more modern.
It was, you know, more. It was on the modern consoles. You could, you know, actually play through and kind of. There's a bunch of different things to do that, you know, in the first couple games that didn't have. You know, like Persona 5, you can fit, or Final Fantasy 15, you could fish, and you couldn't do that in 10. You couldn't do that in, you know, 4 and stuff like that. Now you can do all that, and there's stuff in Persona 5 Royal that you couldn't do in Persona, or Persona 5, not Royal, Persona 5, Royal. That you couldn't do in Golden. Like Golden didn't have any platforming sections that you could jump up to and do all that stuff.
Or just all the mini games, you know, like they have, like you can buy the video game console and play that, or you have the batting cage and stuff. Like Persona 4 Golden has like, go drink coffee. That's the mini game, and you don't even do anything. You just drink some coffee. And Persona 3 somehow has even less to do. So no, I think that's a really good comparison, and you could even kind of equate it more to like Final Fantasy 7 remake or something, where you know get a little more modern, but like you're gonna have it's going to be flashy, it's going to be high budget, it's going to have a lot of side things to do. It's going to have its people that like it, it's going to have its people that don't like it, but for the most part, it's going to be a lot easier to get into than these now 20-year-old games.
Yep, exactly. I agree. Yeah, guess we'll see how how 6 pops up. I mean, they've had 30 years to get it right, so
and they've gotten it right a lot of times. That's the thing, is like I think there's only one truly mediocre Persona game, and that is Persona 1.
Yeah.
And ever since Persona 1, I think they've just like nailed it, and it's been more of a thing of taste rather than quality. Like, I don't think anyone could sit there with a straight face and go, Persona 4 sucks.
Yeah, right.
It's just a bad game. Or like Persona 2 is a bad game. It's like you might not like certain things in it, like Persona 2 grinding for tarot cards or negotiating with demons, or like even the combat's a little like you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
But objectively, like the writing in these games are good and the stories are intriguing, and they look good too. Even Persona 4 Golden and Persona 3 for their time,
Yeah.
like those aren't bad looking games at all. And the remakes have just made them better. But yeah, I'm interested to see where Persona 6 goes, and I'm interested to see, like, I think this is kind of like it's like a tipping point, and I think
Right.
Persona 6 is going to be the title, the entry that's going to tell us, is Persona going to become Final Fantasy levels big,
Mm-hmm.
or is it just going to kind of plateau and stay at this, like, oh yeah, it's popular, people like it, it's gotten bigger, it's got millions of fans, but it's not going to reach Dragon Quest, it's not going to reach Kingdom Hearts, it's not like those popular Square Enix JRPGs, it's not going to hit those highs, which I think part of the reason why it might not hit those highs too is because it just takes so damn long for them to come out.
Mm-hmm. It's like,
Because you know, Square Enix back in the day, they literally like 1 year dev cycles.
yeah, but I mean, I would say that Persona, popularity wise, is probably on the same level as Dark Cloud, the Dark Cloud series.
I
Especially
think it's more
considering,
popular than that now. I think it was for sure. I think when like Persona 4 Golden came out, yeah, I'd put like Dark Cloud or Persona 4 Golden or I can't even think. I mean, there's a million. There's those double A budget JRPGs where like people really love them. Don't get me wrong, but you know they weren't the kings. They weren't the Square Enix titles.
Earthbound's that, yeah.
Or well, even Earthbound, something like that. That game is kind of more like, I'd say Persona's bigger than Earthbound now, or even like I know I just said Square Enix, but some like Chrono Trigger too, where those are series that are super popular and they're really good games. But when you look up like how much did they actually sell, it's like sub a million, maybe like a little over a million, like nowhere close to like Final Fantasy 7 has sold like 16 million at this point, or Final Fantasy 15 sold over 10 million. Like it's those things. Yeah, 10 sold a lot too. So, but I do think that because Persona 5 didn't sell 10 million, it didn't reach those levels of Final Fantasy 15, but I think it sold like 5 or 6 million, and now with the re-release, I'm sure it's definitely gone over that. So like I would love to see Persona 6 kind of beat that even. Like, can it get to like 8 million or 9 million? And then it's just going to rise the tide, and then everyone's going to go back and like, okay, and Atlas is smart for this, and I'm sure this is why they're doing it too. Make all your games accessible, because I think that's where they messed up with Persona 5, because they released Persona 5, people were into it, and like, oh, I want to play the older ones. Like, oh, go buy a Vita.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean in 2017 go buy a Vita? And it's like, sorry, that's where the last game's locked.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's like Persona 2. It's like, all right, you can play it on PSP, but you can't play the second Persona 2 on PSP. You have to play that on the PlayStation. That's expensive. I'll get out. Yeah,
so the accessibility part I think was smart, and it's also holding us over too as they keep making the new game. I have a question for you.
Yeah,
and this is just a it's a guess really.
Yeah.
When do you think it's going to come out? Because infamously, between the first teaser for Persona 5 and the actual release date, it was like 4 years. That damn game kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed.
Right. That's what I was thinking. I was just thinking about that. I'm like, it's been a while. But then I was just thinking the Ocarina of Time, how long was that, in development at this point? And they just kind of announced it now and it's coming out this year. So it's like, was it in development at the same time as Breath of the Wild? And that's how long it took to get it out, which is a big game.
So let's see.
Persona 6 is I'm going to guess a big game. I'm going to probably put it 2020. 2029, 2030, depending on when they started it.
Yeah, so just to give you some idea,
Mhm.
so the team that makes the Persona games, they've only made Persona except for two games. They made
Nice.
Catherine in 2011,
Oh yeah, great
and then
game.
they made Metaphor
I haven't played it yet.
in
Wanted to though.
yeah, they made that in 2024.
Mhm.
And the time between Persona 5 and Metaphor was 7 years. Took them 7 years to go from that. And mind you, I think this team, it's hard to get like official information, but the idea is that there's an A team and a B team inside of Atlas, and the A team works on the bigger games like Metaphor, and then the B team works on like Persona 3 Reload or Persona 4 Revival and things like
Yeah.
that. That way they can kind of space it out. And then they might even have like a C team that does like the spin-offs, and they work in conjunction with like Koei Tecmo or whoever it might be
Right.
at that time that they're making those spin-offs with. But I would hope, because 6 years in between Catherine and Persona 5, Persona 5 infamously took long because it was a new engine,
Mhm.
and they decided to change development because it was going to be PS3 exclusive.
Yeah.
And then I think it was in 2015 that they announced PS3 and PS4.
Yeah.
And they had to co-develop that. And I'm sure if anyone knows about the PS3, yeah, it was not a simple drag and drop. Like the PS3 was a pain in the ass, and then making it for PS4 as well. I'm sure that took some additional time for that.
Mhm.
And then the Metaphor release date being 7 years later, I'm chalking that up to COVID,
Right.
because COVID extended the dev times for a lot of games. So, like, honestly, I'd say Metaphor is probably like a 5 year
Yeah.
dev cycle. So, my wishful thinking is 2028, but in reality, it's probably going to be 2029 is when Persona
Yeah.
6 comes out. Now, again, I don't know if that's what's going to actually happen,
Mhm.
especially with Sega owning them now, because Sega did not own them when Persona 5 came out, or they had just bought them.
Yeah.
But I would think that
See.
Sega would be looking at someone like Square Enix, where they've released Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, and now Revelations all within 7 years. And those are massive games. So, and it's not just the world, but I don't know if you've played the remake series, but they've gone deeper into like there's a relationship system and stuff like that, and it's filled with side quests and side characters. Like talking about content filled games, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is another one of my best games of all time. Like it's a fantastic game. I'm wondering if they're looking at that too and being like, okay, whatever made you take 7 years before, that can't happen anymore, because A, that just bleeds money, and B, it is like strike the iron when it's hot. You don't want you want people to say, oh, I love Persona, I want the next game. You don't want them to say, oh yeah, I remember that game,
Right.
I'll go get the next one.
Yep. Actually, I was looking at them now. Sega bought Atlas in 2013.
It's 2013. Okay, I
Yep.
knew it was in between Golden and
Yep.
5, so that's actually pretty. That's probably that's actually earlier in the dev cycle. And Sega might have been the ones to say, "Hey, move it to PS4 as well, and not just be a PS3 game."
Yeah, because I think at that point Sony was also paying for Personas at that point because they were for exclusives. Because I believe Weird Store.
I
I remember Weird Stuff. I think Persona was PlayStation exclusive, and then
Yeah, I
Digital
actually don't
Devil
think.
Saga was in it. It was Nintendo exclusive for a little bit.
Yeah, Digital Devil Saga was Nintendo, and those are on the DS and the 3DS. There were some Xbox games.
Yeah.
It was one of the SMT. It was an online game, but it came out for the original Xbox.
Yeah.
But then SMT 3 came out on PlayStation 2.
Yeah. And sold
I
like
don't know if
hotcakes.
I don't know if it came on Xbox, but then SMT4 came out on DS
Yeah.
or 3DS. So it was weird, but I actually don't think Sony ever paid for Persona to be exclusive. I think that's just something they did.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hadn't heard that.
Yeah, and they might have. I can't remember, but it's I was pretty sure that they didn't pay for it. I'm not sure though. I don't know. I did look it up
Huh?
real quick, and they do have three different teams. They have Team Maniacs, P Studio, and Studio Zero at Atlas.
Mhm.
And yeah, P Studio is the one that's done Persona 3, Persona 4, Persona 5. They did do, oh, and then Catherine too. So it seems like they just do Persona.
Right.
Um, oh, and this is great news actually. Uh, yeah, that's right. Because after Persona 5, they made the new studio. So Creative Department Third Production, Studio Zero, they made Metaphor,
Oh, okay.
not P Studio, which means Persona 6 might actually be closer than we think.
Yeah.
Because that's all, according to this, that is all that team has been working on is Persona 6. So they didn't start after Metaphor came out. They've been working on this since Persona 5 came out.
Right. That makes sense.
Because
Yeah.
Hashino left in 2016, and then Wada became head of the division.
Wada.
So I mean, yeah, we'll see. It doesn't say if they've been also working on the remakes.
Mhm.
I'm assuming they have been as well,
Right.
but I would also think that it might not take that much dev time. I don't know. And it's so difficult with gaming development too. Like how much
Mhm.
outside help are they getting on stuff like that? And, you know.
Are you going to buy Persona 6 when it comes out, or are you gonna wait until they do the upgrade?
Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? I have a problem. I think I've scoured the internet.
Hmm.
I've actually investigated this. I think I have the biggest personal Persona collection. Like full stop. Like I actually believe I
Right.
have the most memorabilia and games and vinyls and CDs and books and all the other stuff.
Right.
I will be there day one. I will be playing Persona 6 day one, and I will
Mhm.
platinum it in day 5, and then I'll play through it again. Maybe.
If
I actually didn't. Persona 5 kind of burnt me out actually because I was so
Mhm.
excited for it, and it was just. I was a kid at that point too. You know,
Right.
2017. I was 19 when it came out, so
Ouch.
I didn't know how to temper expectations and stuff like that. So that was part of the problem. Now being an older person, 28,
Yeah.
it's I'm able to like appreciate games for what they are instead. So
Mhm.
whenever Persona 6 comes out, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to love it for what it is, and I'm just going to be excited that there's a new Persona game after so long.
Right.
But I'll definitely buy it day one.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't bought a Persona game, the original Persona. I'm like, I want to see what they come, I want to see how everybody reacts to it. And then usually when the second cycle comes through, like, oh, here's Royal or here's Golden, it's like, all right, let me jump on the, bandwagon at that point.
Yeah.
It's just they add so much stuff to it. And it's like, oh, it's worth, it's worth this price, stuff like that. But
I think it'd be
I,
smart if they stopped that. Like if they
yeah.
said like, "Hey,
Hmm.
we're not doing that anymore. Persona 6, and if we do any enhancements, it'll be DLC." That way,
Yeah.
because I think there's a lot of people like you who think that same way of like, I'll just wait for the upgraded version. And so it's kind of like Street Fighter, you know.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that also go like, I'm not buying Street Fighter 6. I'll wait a couple of years and then they'll have all the DLC together, and it'll be cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do. I mean, it feels like if they knock this out of the park, maybe there's, something bigger in the future. Maybe they'll bring more of the Shin Megami Tensei games out because they'll see that, ooh, their personas get big and, there's options, for older, Shin Megami. They could remake those. They could remake the first two Persona games. Could do like Persona 1 and 2, like they did Dragon Quest 1 and 2, that'd be kind of
Yeah,
cool. It's a collection. Well, I guess it'd be Persona 1, 2, and 2. But
yeah, trilogy collection.
yeah, a trilogy of two games, which it's so weird. I mean, I guess it's because the PlayStation 1 didn't have as much space. Because I mean, obviously you had Final Fantasy 7 that came on 4 discs. You had Legend of Dragoon that came on 4 discs. Final Fantasy 9 came on 4 discs.
Mhm.
Was it 8 came on 3 for some odd reason.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they did a duology. It was definitely a bold move. Like I think it's because of Pokemon actually, because
Yeah,
Pokemon was big and they did the duology, and it's like not the same concept, but like oh, let's just release two parts of the same story. And the Oracle games around that time is a little later, but the Oracle games that too. It must have
yeah,
just been the fad at the time of like let's do
had to
this
been.
duology thing and reuse assets but tell a slightly different story.
Yeah, well, I had to been. Yeah, because Oracle was one of those that came out like that. I don't know. We'll see though. Now I just have a random question. It's not Persona,
Okay.
but if they remake another Final Fantasy game like they did 7,
Mhm.
which one would it be?
Are
I
you asking which one do I think they'll do, or which one do I want them to do?
both.
Oh, okay. They'll do 10
Okay,
because
so
that's the
it's
next
just a
popular game.
yep.
That's why they did 7 because 7's their most popular one.
Hmm.
And I think they've learned a lot from
Hmm.
this trilogy. And I think then the next one that they do, because even though the sales haven't been like through the roof, I think the thing about Final Fantasy games is that they are forever games.
Yeah.
They can now port these remakes to the next console forever, and they will keep selling forever.
Yep.
Just like all the older games keep on selling forever. It's
Yeah.
their moneymaker. So because there's a lot of conjecture online of like, oh, remakes a failure, Rebirth only sold, didn't meet expectations. Stuff. I'm like, dude, there's literally a
Right.
sale going on right now, and trending on Twitter is just how all these people buying it for the first time and stuff like, yeah, these games are going to sell. They're going to make them tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. Maybe not right now, but in it's just like Kingdom Hearts. They're reselling
Yep.
those fucking games again.
Yep.
It's the infinite money machine.
Yep.
But I think 10 will be next, which
Hmm.
I would love. I actually beat 10 for the first time like a few months ago, and
Oh,
that
really?
was and I beat, and then I went straight to 10-2, and then I beat that game, and both of those games are just
Hmm.
so fantastic. I love them both, and
Yeah.
immediately started playing through it again. It's they're just great. But the game that I would like to see remade,
Hmm.
that's a tough one. See, okay, I got two answers for you. My
Okay.
first answer is going to be weird.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 15,
Okay.
because I love 15. 15 is one of my favorite Final Fantasy games, and just hit me at the right time,
Right.
And infamously, that game is not done. I think it's basically complete now with the Royal Edition and stuff, but you can tell that a lot of things were kind of band-aid put on, and
Yeah.
you can tell that the technology wasn't there for what they wanted yet, like the whole
Hmm.
open world stuff and the game design of it. There's just a lot of weird things, and even the combat,
Yep.
like you can see the stepping stones to 7 remake in
Right.
15.
Yep.
But remaking 15 would be amazing. And ironically too, 15 I think is like the third best selling Final Fantasy game of all time.
Hmm.
So that also has that popularity behind it too of like love it or hate it, people bought it.
Hmm.
Um but then the other one I want remade is I think the dream would
Hmm.
be 6.
I'd say 6
But
seems like.
just like Persona 1 and 2,
Hmm.
it would be massive.
Yeah.
It would be a massive game. If they did it in the same vein as like Final Fantasy 7 Remake, you're
Hmm.
talking like people think GTA 6 is big. No.
Yeah.
No. This game would be huge if they were actually faithful to it.
Right.
And that's just the problem with modern gaming is that with so much detail and stuff, like you could shit out a city in like a
Oh yeah.
week probably back in 2003,
Right.
just put some
Yep.
simple polygons all around and you have these like flat 2D JPEGs for Windows and stuff, call it a day. But
Right.
now you do that, people are like this game's shit. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, so they have to spend 10 years making a freaking hallway so it looks realistic with the dust and the cracks on it and stuff like that.
Yep.
But Final Fantasy 6 would be an amazing game, and there's just so many iconic scenes in that
Hmm.
game that being remade would be
Hmm.
so cool. But I think, and I know people like 9 is the rumor right now, and I think that remake
Yeah.
actually, personally, I think it got canceled because it's been like 6 years since it
Yeah.
got leaked. So whatever they're planning, I think that's put on the shelf at least for now. But I
Yeah.
do believe that 10 is going to be the next one.
I would love to see what they could do with 10 because I mean there's so much story they could still touch on with 10.
Hmm.
They could
Yeah, like
expand out.
just expanding on things in 10,
Yeah.
kind of the way they've expanded on things in a remake would be so
Mm-hmm.
cool. And there's so many limitations with the PS2 that they could really take advantage of
Yep.
on whatever the hell they release it on the PlayStation 10 at that point. No, I mean they're actually, like I said before, they're pumping these remake games out. I think
Yep.
that if they just keep the same team, like, okay, what are we doing next? I don't know if a remake series is what they would want to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it'd be really cool if they did that. Just keep remaking them.
It would be cool. I'll be on the minority here probably, but I would like to see them make Final Fantasy into a four-parter, Final Fantasy 10, and then obviously remake Final Fantasy 10 too, and kind of because I feel like they sped through Final Fantasy 10 too a little bit when they were creating it, but they could really
It's a little rushed. Yeah, there's some interesting story beats, and talking about being fleshed out too. Like you could tell that they're really trying with the character dynamics and stuff.
Yeah.
But also the pacing is a little weird with it. But I 10-2 has a special place in my heart. I like it. It's very weird.
Yeah.
But it's a good game. It's a great game, actually.
Yeah. See, I would think if they made this is just my opinion on Final Fantasy X. If they made a four-parter, I would love for the first part, which I know it would spoil the rest of the game, but it's a 25-year-old game now,
Mhm.
But I would love the first, like maybe, remake to be about Vraska, Orin, and Jecht,
Yeah.
like
No,
going
and
that whole pilgrimage.
that's something that people have been asking for since 2001. It's like,
Yeah.
because I mean, 10-3 was rumored to like, and I think I read something because I started reading a lot of like dev diaries and stuff after beating those games.
Hmm.
And as recent as like 2013, they were like, we still think about like 10-3. Like, what
Yeah.
could we do next? And that's what gives me hope. It's just like Final Fantasy 7, where, they never really went away from it. They
Mhm.
kept talking about it and thinking about it. And then now they're doing this whole remake series. And I think they're going to be done after remake series for a while.
Yeah.
But then I think 10-2 is that one where, because like Spira, people just love that place. And like,
Yep.
you could literally just make a game that takes place in that world that has nothing to do with Tidus or Yuna or anything like that. And people would love it because
Yep.
it's that lore that they built behind it, and this whole like technology versus mages or whatever you want to do, and the
Yeah.
spirits being sent back and stuff. Like, no, I think it would be really cool and open the door of like, yeah, let's make a sequel or something. Which but the problem is people want that for 7 as well. They're like, okay, like after this is done, which I actually read that they said they're done for a while. They're like, no more side things, no more, like, this is the game, this is the end, and then we're done.
Yeah. Yeah. See, like 7, I feel like was completed in the game. Like the story was completed in 7. I feel
Yeah,
like
there were a
10
couple things. Like,
Yeah.
obviously Vincent and Yuffie, like infamously their stuff got cut, and
Right.
the Wu Tai stuff feels really tacked on. So I'm really thankful that we're getting that in the remakes.
Mhm.
But yeah, for the most part, the game was content complete.
Yeah. That's why I'm like 10 would be so cool just because you'd be able to see, all right, let's, the three of them going to, feel like they're going to end Sin and all that stuff and, get there and Jack becomes Sin, find out how all that happens.
I mean, it'd be similar like with 8 and like Laguna's whole side quest thing and stuff like that. Like, just make that kind of a whole separate thing,
Yeah.
and then have them connect. Which,
Hmm.
they could do. That's what they've been doing with Zack in these remake games, where
Yeah.
they kind of have Zack's having his old side quest stuff. So
Yeah.
you can see already like little hints of, and it just depends on what are they thinking now. Like, do they want to do that?
Mhm.
Because they have the talent to do it, and they're
Yeah.
proving that they can do it and that it works. So we're saying all this, they're going to just end up remaking 13 is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's going to be the one that
13
gets remade.
See, I like 13 a little bit. A lot of people didn't
I
like
do too,
13.
actually.
And I was like, why? It was, it wasn't bad. It was, they're like,
I
oh,
think it was
it's too
just,
linear and blah 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 blah. I'm like, literally, that's Final Fantasy X.
you know, it is. That was the thing that confused me the most because
Yep.
I heard the complaints about 13. Mind you, I again hadn't played 10 until like last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I always heard people hate 13. It's just a hallway. It's a hallway simulator until like 20 hours in, and then it gets open and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I don't know why that's bad, but I get it because I played Final Fantasy like 1 and 2 and 6 and 7. You got the open world and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I always knew people said 10's the best, or like one of the best games, or some people regard it as the best. And I played 10, I'm like, what the hell are you guys talking about? You just you get an airship like an hour before the end of the game. And all it is a fast travel system. This game literally is just a freaking hallway, and you regard it as the best. But then you complain about 13. I think that was just internet culture, where because 13 came out during the Xbox 360 and PS3 era, where everything had to be open world. Everything, and if you weren't open world, you were a terrible video game.
Yep.
But 13 also sold really good. So I think it was just like, it was the people that like complained about Wind Waker. It's like, you clearly didn't play the game. You're just being an online hater.
Wind Waker was incredible. Yeah, Wind Waker was, everybody hated Wind Waker at first because of the way it was looked. And it was like,
yeah, the cell shading and stuff like that. And it's like,
that's a great.
Which I understand that a little more than the complaints for 13. Again, because 10 was linear. Now 12 wasn't. And maybe that's what kind of changed the expectations. Like, okay, 10 was linear, 12 moved to this more open thing. Maybe for some people felt like going backwards. But even then, I don't know. I think 13 balanced it pretty well.
And 12 had, I get what they're trying to do because everybody was complaining about how many battles and stuff were in 10. And before that, it's like, well, 12, they tried to make it, oh, you don't have to fight everything, but it was like the battle system was terrible for 12.
It was definitely different.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, I would say 10 is definitely the next Final Fantasy that's going to remake, no matter. I don't see ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think that's the next one. Now, I think it'd be cool to see what they could do with 4, obviously, for a remake. 4 is, incredible, and they did kind of remake it on PSP, but they also kind of did the after years and all that stuff, so they kind of expanded that section out. But I would like to see what they could do, like with the Final Fantasy 11. Like if
11. Well, they could what they could do, because 11's an online game, they could make an offline version, kind of like what they did with Dragon Quest. Was it 10? I think 10 is their online one, and then they came out with an offline version of Dragon Quest 10. I think it was Japan only, and it was like for the Wii or something. But they have done that in the past, so bringing those older games back up, now I think that requires more work, and also people still play 11. Like there's an active I don't know how many subscribers they have, but I think it's like over 1 million subscribers still of people playing Final Fantasy 11. So if you make an offline version, you're kind of killing your revenue right there. Dragon Quest was a little different because, again, it was a Wii. I think it was a Wii exclusive, and it was Japan exclusive. And by the time they made the offline version, there's like 10,000 people playing. Like it wasn't many at all. So a little different, kind of apples to oranges, but that would be cool. I actually would like to see them remake. So they did the pixel remasters, but if they would, and I don't get, and I'm hoping, because the game industry, people don't exist in a bubble, and this all kind of ties back to Persona as well.
Right.
Watching what Konami has been doing the last couple of years, if I was a game developer, I'd be going, hold up, that's kind of working. Right. Where they said, okay, Konami is different because they don't want to make games. I think they've made like one game the last 15 years. But they're like, all right, we're going to license out our IP, and whatever quality assurance they're doing that it's working, like we're going to make sure it's good. We're going to make sure that it's faithful to the IP, but we're going to have this team make Silent Hill 2 remake, and this team makes Silent Hill F, and now we got Annapurna making Silent Hill, whatever the fuck it's called. And then also we're going to have these guys make Suikoden 1 and 2 remake, and then these other guys make whatever Metal Gear Solid remake and stuff like that.
Yep.
If I was Square Enix, I'd be looking at that and going, why? Like it's great that we have, and they thought about doing this because the original people that were supposed to make Final Fantasy VII remake, it was those freaking oh gosh, what were they called? It's like the guys that made like the Dragon Ball Z games or something.
Right.
And I'm so happy that they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But they thought about this.
Right.
Maybe don't do that with your golden goose, especially when you have like the people still. You got Hamaguchi still there, being like, "Yo, I'll do this." Like, give it to him. But those older titles, like the NES and SNES titles, you have that HD 2D engine,
right?
And you're releasing new Final Fantasy games on that engine. License out the engine and say, "Hey, developers, who wants to remake Final Fantasy 1? We'll oversee it, but you make it." And then, dude, we could be getting a remake every year and tie it back. Atlas, hey, who wants to remake Persona 1 and Persona 2? And screw it, the Digital Devil Saga series and all these different things. Like, who wants to do this? We will oversee it and all that, but it's basically going to print us free money.
Right.
That's what I don't understand. It's like companies doing that. The only one I understand is Nintendo not doing that because they're so protective of their IP. But they have a reason to, because Mario is Mario. Yeah. Pokemon is Pokemon, which that's not even Nintendo. But you know, the Nintendo IPs are Nintendo IPs. These other companies, even someone as big as Square Enix, because Square Enix is one of the biggest video game developers on earth.
Yep, Capcom.
I would still
Square Enix.
Yeah, like they're all kind of in the same realm. And I know Capcom does their remakes in house, but again, they're a little different. They're remaking 3D games and stuff like that. I'm talking specifically just the 2D games, 1 through 6. I would be like, hey, who wants to do this? Like, let's remake this. Or, all right, who wants to remake Final Fantasy 8 and Final Fantasy 9 because we want to move on to 10 because that's the big one and we want to make sure that's right. We don't have enough time for 8 and 9, but maybe someone out there wants to do that and we can kind of oversee you doing that. And who knows, maybe that's happening right now. Like literally, because that leak of 9 happened and maybe it's just a long dev cycle and they don't want to interrupt Final Fantasy 7, but the second Revelations is out, 3 months later we get an announcement, Final Fantasy 9 remake's coming. You know? This one team has been working on it.
See, Final Fantasy 9 I feel like had a great cast of characters. 10's cast of characters, I think it's always personally been my favorite cast of characters. I think from top to bottom they're just perfect. I mean, everybody can complain about Kamari, didn't really.
I was about to say that's the one that came to my mind right away. I was like, even Kamari.
But the Kamari didn't really get much. But I mean, you could, if you remade 10, you could literally expand his character out. You could.
Well, that's the great thing about that game is the foundation is already there for all of them.
Yep.
So like, it would just be more so than 7. Like 7, like Vincent had like 2 scenes because they had to cut everything, so there really wasn't anything at all. 10 already has like something there for everyone. It would just be, okay, how do we expand on this now and really flesh it out?
And I mean, honestly, everybody hates this too, but Blitzball they could expand out too. I mean, Blitzball was,
I didn't think it was that bad.
No, I love Blitzball.
I didn't think it was bad. And I 100% of that game. Like, I haven't grinded out all the grid sphere, but I got all their like legendary weapons and stuff, and that was a pain in the ass. That was
the hardest.
Dude, dodging 200 lightning bolts wanted me to run into a lightning bolt, and then those stupid butterflies. Oh my gosh, I don't know what they were smoking, but they're smoking something. I'm like, hey, let's make this freaking difficult.
Yep. But top to bottom though, the Aeons were some of the best. I mean, I think the best cast of Aeons that Final Fantasy ever had.
No, great summons in that game. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Valley. I would say Valley 4 is probably the weakest, and that's just because it's the first Aeon you get, but it gets 2 overdrive, so it's like, maybe it's not.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Because I mean, who would have guessed you would get Anima later in the game? I mean, it's way late in the game, but I mean, still, you get freaking Anima. You get the Magus sisters.
It's sick. It really is. It's a fantastic game, and I just hope that they would. I mean, they haven't forgot about it. They're porting it to Switch 2 coming out in July.
Right.
So they clearly still know that these games are beloved and
Mhm.
people want to play them.
Yep. Which this is the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy X. So
That's crazy. That's crazy that Final Fantasy X is almost as old as the Persona series. That's and that's what makes me hopeful too. Kind of like to wrap this up and like
yeah.
tie it back to Persona. What makes me hopeful is that even though we're at the 30th anniversary, we're only on the sixth title.
Yeah.
And like think about other franchises on the sixth title. Like we were just talking about Final Fantasy. We're still in the pixel era. We haven't even gotten to 7 yet.
Yeah.
And 7 was their breakout one. Or you think about something even like Call of Duty, where Call of Duty, the 7th one was what? Black Ops 2. And that's where it started to really explode and like gain that popularity is like, oh, that's the big one. Even something like GTA, I know that we're on 6, but really it's like the 12th one.
Yeah.
It's so like, you know, as the Persona series, and that's why I'm hoping that Sega, I mean Sega's not dumb and they know like with RGG Studios, like, oh, we got a golden goose here, and that studio already had perfected like reusing assets and writing stories really well and getting games out pretty freaking quick.
Yeah.
But learning how to do that with a series like Persona, I'm not saying annualize it, because I think any series that becomes annualized eventually falls off in quality. We're gonna see how Silent Hill goes. But definitely like you have, if they could get a cycle where like Persona 6 comes out in 2028, spin-off in 2029, remake in 2030, Persona 7 2031, like 3-year cycles. Which is doable. Persona 4 was made in 2 years.
Yep.
So like just figuring out a way to get back to that, I think would be the thing to make this franchise like massive. Like massive. It would finally be one of the top dogs, cuz right now it ain't Street Fighter, it ain't Resident Evil, it's not Final Fantasy, it's none of those. It's not even Dragon Quest. It's still smaller than all of them.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it's hitting its stride, but it's still not, you know, a big. When you talk about RPGs, it's not one of the big, you know, 5.
No, it's not, and that's why I think like it just needs more. Like it needs more word of mouth, but then that consistent like, oh yeah, I've heard of Persona. Here's the new one.
Yeah.
Oh, I really like that. Here's the new one now. You know, like, okay, we have always something more to look forward to. Also, get it off Xbox's show. That and Sega, that'll help too. I know that they paid you guys a lot of money to get on the Xbox show. You need to get that shit on like the Summer Games Fest show, like the actual show, not the Xbox showcase on Monday.
Yeah, to announce it. Yep, surprise. I mean, I get that they used to be, you know, on E3, and E3 was a big thing, and you know, now it's Summer Game Fest and the Video Game Awards and all that stuff. But I don't know, it just was, you know, it doesn't feel as big being on. Oh, let's see, Xbox Showcase or Nintendo Direct or, you know, PlayStation.
Yeah.
State of Play. It's like, oh, it's, you know, okay.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah.
But with when Persona 6 comes out, do you think it'll be on this generation of consoles, like the PS5?
Yeah, I do. Okay. And I think multiple reasons. Like I said, I think it's closer than we think. I think they've learned from their past mistakes of like announcing a game and then waiting 5 years to actually do anything with it. I honestly believe that we'll probably get a gameplay trailer next year, and then it'll probably say like 2028 or something. And then it'll probably be delayed to 2029, but then it'll come out in 2029. Which sounds far away, but in reality, that's like in 6 months, it'll be 2027, and then one more year, it'll be 2028. So like it's really not that far away. You're talking like 2.5 years, maybe 2 years away. Time works weird like that, where these far away things is like, well, if you're at the end of one year and then you're talking about the beginning of the next, 3 years is actually 13 months.
Right.
But I do think I forgot the question. I'm going to be honest. Totally forgot what you asked.
I was just saying, are you think it's gonna be the PS5, Xbox?
Oh yeah. I do think it's going to be on
Series
those because I think this generation is going to last a while
X?
with this whole stupid AI bullshit making everything expensive.
Yeah.
I don't think if I'm sitting at Sony or Xbox, Nintendo's lucky. They just released theirs. Or maybe they're unlucky because now they're in this crisis that they have to raise the price a year after it comes out. And I'm sure that's still not enough with the price of all these things.
Nope.
But if I'm Xbox or Sony or heaven forbid Steam with the Steam machine, I'm going, oh shit. We
Time to
can't.
right. The
It's like we can't do this.
Right.
So they're gonna extend the hell out of these generations, kind of like they did in 2008 when the financial crisis happened, and that was because console cycles used to be 5 years. That was about what it was, and then 2008 extended that to I think it was about 8 years for that cycle because of that, and then now with this one. COVID kind of first extended it, and now we're getting into this AI bubble, which is going to extend it even more. But it seems okay because I think we've hit, and maybe that's just like the older gamer me, but I think we're starting to plateau with what these consoles can do. Like, don't get me wrong, I always say or you always hear people like, what could they even do with more power? They always find something, right? Like, there's always something else that they could do to make it run better, have more, play better, things like that. But I do think that with what we have right now, the opportunities are so wide because you just keep building off what you could do before. And I really like that we live in an era where you go on the PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, and you see games that look like, PS1 or SNES or PS3 or modern, like we just have so much variety now that I think we'll be okay without a console till 2030, and they're still selling too, which is nice. But for those two reasons, I think it will come out on current consoles.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I am sure.
Are you sure?
I got a good feeling about that. Yeah. I mean, dude,
sure?
look at the Steam machine. Like, they announced that, and then they've been terrified to release the price and release date because Valve knows they had to raise the price on the Steam Deck to something. What is it? It's absurd what it is.
Thanks, Trump.
Let me see what I think it's quote unquote sold out right now. I don't even think they have it on the front page anymore because
it's not been.
So what is chat talking about?
Well, nobody really popped in the chat, but we were just talking about Persona 6 coming out.
a Steam Deck is $789.
Let me tell you all a little story.
That is the cheapest model.
Yep, no thank you.
And then the next model is at 950. That's insane.
No.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Levin.
So, let me tell you a little story. Papa Squat, let Big Papa tell you all a little story. Back in the days when we wondered, does Kingdom Hearts 3 even exist? Do you remember, for this, with Kingdom Hearts 4, it felt like Kingdom Hearts 3 was never going to come out. And that is pretty much the JRPG GTA, where it just comes out once in a generation.
Well, it was that in Final Fantasy 15, yeah. It was like, when are these two games coming out?
Yeah, and we've actually gotten like Final Fantasy 16 since then, right? So,
which is crazy, yeah.
And then with the remake, I'll let it pass that they haven't made another one since. It's cool. Wait, are we at 17 now?
Yeah, 17 is the next one.
Yep.
Yeah. So, like, you see, feels like Kingdom Hearts is now like the JRPG version of GTA, and Persona might be going in that same route too.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
We were taking bets to see which would come out first, Kingdom Hearts 3 or Persona 5. And I was like, yeah, Persona 5's got it. And I was right. And now, with how long it took, I was thinking Kingdom Hearts 4 might actually come out before Persona 6.
It's possible. We have more gameplay of Kingdom Hearts 4. Like, we have actual gameplay of it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I love how there is a funny meme. Do not show this to the PlayStation soy boys because they will cope and be like, my console so more, so get owned, nerd.
So it's just like it's that soy jack where like he's in the cuck chair watching the girl on top of the other guy, and it's Kingdom
Oh
Hearts with the
yeah.
girl and the other guy is Nintendo. Is like, are you sure? Yes.
Yep, I'm excited.
Sony Bros in shambles. Sony Bros.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what consoles are gonna go. I mean, I don't think PlayStation's. I mean, there's rumors about PlayStation 6 is coming soon, but with the whole chip situation, I don't think they'll come out.
And they'll still have
soon.
no exclusive games to buy.
Xbox, I feel like is trying to get back in exclusivity,
Xbox,
but
okay, you got to give Xbox their flowers, man, because the grifters were already labeling the new lady CEO that she doesn't know what she's doing. They're just being misogynistic pricks.
mhm,
Yeah.
But she has made it clear from the start that she's not giving up on Xbox like the other people, like the last people were.
yeah,
And
Phil.
yeah,
with their little direct, I'm so glad. Yeah, it's a little cringy sometimes, but I can see the effort and I respect
mhm,
it. They're not giving
right,
up on this, and they're like, here's to another 25 years. Will they make those 25 years? I don't know.
yep,
But I'd rather they go down swinging and trying, because you could have just surrendered like Sega did. Though Sega had much more extenuating circumstances. Xbox,
mhm,
I feel like they had no reason to give up so soon,
no,
because all it takes is one bad Sony Direct place or
mhm,
State of Play, and one good Xbox event to rally the troops. And
yep,
I'm not saying that happened, but Sony's event was definitely the weakest. Yeah, Insomniac, Wolverine, and the God of War game's fine. I'm not. I am.
mhm.
If my infield brother is cool with that game, you guys can be cool with it too. I don't even care about God of War, but I thought, oh, that's pretty
God of
cool.
War is great. Yeah,
So here's the
Like
problem with all that, though. Here's the problem with
women
all that.
in my gaming
No,
industry.
no. Here's the
mhm,
problem. The series of consoles have sold around 35 million units. The
mhm,
PS5 with no exclusives has sold 93.7 million. If I'm sitting there as Xbox, I'm going. I don't know what to do because the PlayStation
mhm,
basically has no exclusives, and it's almost at 100 million units sold. It's sold more than
It
than like almost all the Nintendo consoles aside from like two of them.
mhm,
So it's like, what do you do with that? And Xbox has already tried the whole like we're gonna have exclusives and we're gonna get all these deals and stuff. They did that during the Xbox One era and it didn't work. And they're like, okay, well, what if we buy these things and make Bethesda exclusive and stuff? And no one fucking cares. Starfield and stuff like that, and no one cares.
yeah. Everything
So
came to PlayStation anyway.
it's kind of difficult to be like, even with I don't think Sony's had a good state of play
Mhm,
since like 2020. Like it's been forever that they've actually had a genuine like, oh my god. I think it was the PS5 blowout where they're like, here's the Demon Souls remake and here's these ported games and stuff like that and here's Spider-Man 2 and things like that. It's like, oh whoa, this actually looks really fucking cool.
and
But then
Ragnarok.
yeah, and they had Ragnarok and stuff. But then they were like, oh wait, we don't have to do anything. You guys just buy this stuff anyways.
buying the same games you can get on other consoles. Like you're playing Madden, they're playing your other sports games, Call of Duty,
Mhm,
and like I don't know,
I
man.
mean,
Like I
yeah.
want to. I would. This is definitely one of those wait and see. But look, if I see Xbox come this time next year trending in the right direction, that's something you got to build off of.
mhm,
Yeah, I
So
mean, I think they are trending in the right direction, but I also think at this point now, like, I mean, this gets way deeper than video games and stuff, but I think we're heading for something catastrophic with all this stupid
yeah,
AI
that's the
bubble
thing.
bullshit because
If
these companies are going to look at ways to recoup their losses. Like, I was just reading how Microsoft has lost huge amounts of money on their stupid AI thing. Like, no one uses it at all, and it's just a huge money pit. So what do you do as a company to make that up? Well, our gaming division that's been there for 30 years hasn't done shit for us. It's just been bleeding money.
mhm.
Let's cut it. Cut all those employees. Cut all that. Then
Yeah.
balance the books.
Yep.
I
I
hope
don't know.
not. But I mean, I'm all for the AI bubble popping.
Yeah.
I don't
Actually,
care what comes afterwards. It's what everyone deserves. Well, everyone
Yeah,
in terms of the
but
investor.
I'm saying that it might kill Xbox is what it might do. And I
If
don't think it'll
Xbox
kill
dies,
I don't think it'll
if
kill the developers, but
Yeah.
Like we've been talking about this since like there are whole rumors of them exiting. Like that was going to be bad. Like if it's just
It's
PlayStation and Nintendo, PlayStation's not competing with Nintendo and vice versa.
Mhm.
Like Sony fans will have you think that they're competing with everybody. They're just wanting to start shit and act like they're superior. But like, dude, I would say about 85 to 90% of your games I can play on PC. So like, what's your fucking argument, bro?
Yeah. I'd
Um,
be curious to see how many people. Well, I mean, most people don't play those on PC though.
No, I don't play on
yeah,
PC.
I don't think most people have a PC that can play most of those games. Like even something like The Last of Us.
Mhm.
Like I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, let me frame it this way. There's definitely more people that own a PS4 that can play The Last of Us that then own a PC that could play the quality of a PS4 Last of Us.
Yeah.
Like that is probably an actual fact that there are not enough people that have a PC that powerful to have that game run and look the way it does on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
Like,
I've never liked the whole like.
Mhm.
The what?
I was just gonna say I've never liked the whole like oh we can play it on PC because I would hear like people being like oh Sony's abandoning the consoles because they're pointing to PC. I'm like guys that's such a small market that they're catering like they're selling to like the people that can actually play these AAA games. It's a few million people at most, like max 10 million people. Max, but then you got 100 million PS5s out there, so like the vast majority, it doesn't affect them at all.
Right. I think the thing that really affected Xbox, and I get what they're trying to do, but I think it was like having Xbox games release on PC also at the same time. Because at that point, it's like, well, do I really need Xbox if I can play it on PC, And I feel like the Xbox should have their own exclusivity for
How I
just their
do it.
games.
Yeah.
You know, I have a strong PC I built back in 2024,
Mhm.
and I mean, I've upgraded it a bit. I cannot tell you like scientifically how strong my computer is. Like, what is a game that I could compare it to? Like, this is its limit, Because I genuinely don't know. I had a
Crisis.
friend of mine, PT, help me assemble it. I have if I gave you all the part specs information, someone would probably be able to tell me. But
Yeah.
I know my graphics card at least is like top 20, top 25 right now,
Mhm.
which is, I mean, mind you, it's like a meta game with PC,
Mhm.
the PC Master Race. Your stuff can be outdated within a few years. Thankfully, that's slowing down because of the chip things with AI. So they're making less graphics cards and they're more expensive. I want to
Right.
say that big swelling market is starting to recede because AI's starting to bumble about and go
Mhm.
nowhere.
Mhm.
But the way I see it, I have my PC. I'm totally content with it, and my only other console is a Nintendo. And then a Switch. I'm gonna get a Switch 2 probably next
Mhm.
month or August before the price hike. Which kudos to them for actually doing that because most companies would just do it overnight like
Right.
Sony did.
Mm.
But
No,
like the
Sony
only
announced it.
Yeah.
yeah
Sony
yeah
announced ahead of time. They said like in 2 months that they're going to raise the price.
Yep. They had no
I
choice
think
but
the
to
one
do
that actually did it overnight was Xbox. I think it
Yeah.
literally was
oh
like
yeah
the
with
next
the
day. People saw
yeah
at Costco
Surprise.
like them changing the prices, and then they announced it like we're changing the price.
Yeah.
Like that's
yeah.
the one that actually did it overnight. But no,
It's
Yeah.
Sony gave a heads up. They said like, "Hey, we're gonna." They started with the Asian markets, and they're like, in these like 7 territories, we're gonna raise the price by whatever their
Mhm.
equivalent of $50 was, and then they
Yeah.
gave like a 6-month notice too for the Pro and the base in
Basically,
America.
yeah, they
Yeah,
started
they did.
countries that didn't make as
Yeah,
much money for them.
yeah, but they
so
did the
the way
same thing that Nintendo did, where they announced ahead of time.
Yeah.
So the way I see it, I only have it. My PC covers pretty much everything, right?
Mhm.
And even with old games, I could emulate some of them. Like I can emulate, Dolphin. I would play like the
Yeah,
Mario Randomizer, Mario Sunshine Randomizer. That game's a banger. But like, all I need is a Switch 2, because the one company that definitely excels in like quality exclusives is Nintendo. And
Yeah.
well,
I mean,
I mean,
for me, they
I think it's a little subjective comment.
of course it's subjective. I'm not telling you objectively. But like those, I can assure you, those games legally will never go to PC or anyone else. That's why like
Right.
there's that more incentive to get those
Yeah.
games.
That's
Like
why.
if I get the Switch 2, it's going to be for games like Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, which is just 10 more years of Three Houses Discourse.
Mhm.
See, like Xenoblade Genesis, whenever that comes out, and of course the enhanced ports of the Xenoblade trilogy. I already have the first two physically. I'm just going to upgrade those and get Xenoblade 3 on the Switch 2,
Yeah.
which should be very fun. You know, like that's some banger games already.
I
And
think
of
that's
course, Ocarina of Time remake, which if I'm excited for an Ocarina of Time remake, given I've been a big hater of that game because of its fans, that should tell you something. Even I'm interested in this.
yeah.
Says something.
I think that with Sony now deciding to go away from PC gaming too, I think that's gonna make
They have
people
to.
decide what they want to do at that point. Because I mean, you don't really have many. Oh, at that point, it's like, all right, I can play GTA, 6 on whatever PS5 or Xbox or PC,
I
but
will I will say though, just to
not
not
PC.
to sound like the Sony fanboy here,
Mhm.
but as someone who owns a Series X and owns a Switch 2 and has a pretty decent PC, like I have a 2080 Ti and stuff. Like this isn't it's not a joke PC.
Right.
Yeah.
The PS5 Pro is by far the best place to play games. Like any game that I buy, the PS5 Pro plays it the best by far.
Yeah.
So there is something to be said. Now it's expensive as all hell. It's cheaper than a
Yeah.
PC, but
It is.
it's still pretty pricey. But
Yeah.
like even if it doesn't have like those exclusives like it used to,
Mhm.
it definitely is like not to sound like a commercial, but the best place to play for
Yeah.
all these third party games is the PS5 Pro. Like when Revelations comes out, Final Fantasy VII Revelations, I know that the Pro version is going to be the best version by far, just like Rebirth was. Same for like Resident Evil. GTA 6 is probably going to have like a marketing deal with Sony, and it's going to say like runs best on Pro. I mean, everyone knows Rockstar games are garbage on PC for the first 5 years. Like they do not come out optimized at all. So I think there's something to be said about that too. Of like, I know with home consoles, you put the game in, 99% of the time, it's going to be running great. And it's going to be exactly how it should be. PC games or games being ported to PC, infamously, half the time they're borked. And it takes them 6 months just to be optimized in some sort of way. So I think there's something to be said about like how these home consoles can continue to thrive. And with Xbox, man, I just don't know. Like watching the Xbox showcase, the most excited I got for were games that were coming out on other consoles, like Persona 4 Revival. I'm like, cool. I'm not playing it on Xbox. I don't care. And all their exclusive. Now, I will say, Fable looks amazing.
Yep. That's
Fable
on
looks
PS5.
amazing, but
Does look really good.
it's going to be on PS5
Yep.
and it's going to be on PC too.
Yep.
All their other games look like the same games they've been releasing since 360. I'm like, oh, there's Gears of War and there's State of Decay and there's Halo again.
Hey yo,
The only
I will
ones that-
say,
oh, good.
E-Day, as someone, if you love Gears of War, because one of the few things it has going over COD is that they actually do focus a bit more on their campaign,
Mm-hmm.
and it's more memorable because the characters are more memorable than
Yeah.
fucking Matt, the covered up face soldier number 22 or whatever. I don't know. I mean, Modern Warfare had some guys that were really cool, of course, but like you don't care about the campaign for Call of Duty anymore. That time
Yeah.
period is gone. So like I'm glad there are still shooters that do have a solid campaign for single player while still having a good multiplayer or so. And of course, the new E-Day is going to be on PC. I won't get it day one, but I definitely will pick it up one day because I actually do want to get Gears of War Classic.
Mhm.
I used to play those games with my brother when he had his Xbox 360.
Yep. Yeah, the only reason I buy an Xbox anymore is it's just because of exclusivity. I was like, all right, Fable's exclusive, or Starfield's gonna be exclusive. And then after I bought my Xbox Series X, it was like, oh, Starfield's coming to PS5. Okay. Oh, Fable's coming to PS5. I'm like, all right. And then I was like,
I
oh,
don't
I
even think
got
they can
Halo
do
5.
anything to stop those, which
Yeah.
sucks.
And it's like, oh, I got Halo Guardians now. It's the only exclusive game really for my PS5 now. Or Halo Infinite, I mean, not Guardians, Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh god,
okay.
I don't know how you can't make a good Halo game anymore. It sucks. I love the world of Halo, man. It's
Mhm.
very fun.
Infinite's not bad. It's not
I just
Bungie
heard
It's
it was
okay.
though.
that was like the problem. It had a lot of hype, and it's just okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what it was. Was like, it's gonna be. And it's like, yeah, it's not bad. It's not great. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Halo. I mean, Microsoft always thought they could do it without Bungie. That was the main thing. It was like, well,
It's
Bungie
you
was
know,
wanted with the Halo series too.
Sony
yeah.
Sony learned when Amy Hennig left Naughty Dog. They're like, okay, Uncharted's done. We're not going to keep trying. We're going to Uncharted 4 is the last one. She left during that one, and they said it's done.
Yep.
So that's a good lesson. It's going to be like well, Nintendo's a little different because theirs is more about gameplay rather than story. So like Miyamoto hasn't been involved in Zelda forever, but that's more about game design. So you can continue to iterate and change.
I would always interfered with the Xenoblade games. Oh dear God!
That's
Made of quirky gameplay, guys. Yeah, use the Switch 2 gimmicks.
That's what.
Hell no, we got weird, crazy stories that like make you question human morality and whatever. Because Xenoblade gets some crazy places sometimes. Just ask its older brother series, Xenogears. Those games are a fucking trip.
Yeah, they are.
Hey Sony, if you're listening, which I know you're not, we want Xenosaga to be finished. You left us 3 games that were supposed to be all done, 6 altogether, and ended at 3, and not a great ending. So
Better
just
yet,
FYI.
or just give the rights to Nintendo so the Monolith Soft can actually finish the fight.
Yeah, trilogy was great. I mean, they kind of ended it at the end, kind of like Mass Effect. Like, oh.
So we still haven't heard nothing about like the new trilogy of games. By the way, I mean, I hope they're good, but I don't know, man.
There's too many question marks in gaming. It feels like anymore.
Yeah.
It feels like
Do you know what there's not question marks for?
Persona.
Persona 6, because we know it's coming. Full circle, bringing it back.
Yep, we just don't know
10
when.
more years of Persona 4, baby. 10 more years.
Yep, we just don't know
Can't
when it's
escape.
coming.
Look,
they announce a release date for Persona 5 or Persona 4 revival? I don't remember.
February.
Yeah, February.
Okay,
next
yeah,
year.
that's for 2027. That's
I
right.
will.
Yeah.
I will take the entire week off so I can be there in Inaba, back home where I belong.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm excited. I can't. I know the streets like the back of my hand, man. I know the characters very
To
well.
be fair, it's like 3 streets, but no, I hear you.
Dude, it's a small town vibe. You know it well. I mean, you know how long it feels like it took for me to finally get like the Kamurocho and Yakuza, and then especially with Persona 5 because there's just so many different areas. Like, yeah, you
Oh
got
my
Young and
gosh.
Young, but now good
Yeah.
luck. Like, I fucking lost in Shibuya sometimes, especially the train station.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And I'm so glad I have the quick travel because oh dear God, I would get lost in there. You
Dude,
put me there.
the beginning of that game with like, okay, now go to line B and then line A, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Somehow I always end up doing it, but I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't have been able to do that because that is confusing.
Yeah.
I feel like if we threw you in the real world equivalent and told you go to the Yonganjaya line, like where the fuck I can't read Japanese.
Yep.
Yeah,
I know they got English, but like where the fuck do I go?
whenever I go to Tokyo, I'm just gonna walk everywhere. I'm just gonna Google Map. Well, I'm too scared to go on the train.
Yep.
It's gonna be like, oh my God, it's Persona 5.
It'd be like my time in New York City when, dude, every time we got on the subway, we went the wrong way. Every time.
Oh no.
Wild.
I always end up. I went to Chicago a few times and ended up
I hope
on the
subway
subway. Did
takes
well.
place in New York. Let Ichiban go to New York, bro.
That'd be
Now-
sick.
I just have a last random question for you guys on Persona. Do you think if they ever made a Persona TV show that would do well?
Well, they have made a TV show. Kind of. I mean, they made an anime.
Only one of them's been good.
Mhm.
And I still
Only-
hate that
Only
one.
one. Excuse me. How dare you? You better be talking about Trinity Souls, or I swear I'm gonna come over there and have a talk with you.
Andrew, I'm in the house like carpet.
Yeah.
I can't believe they fucking botched that music because I do like the OP for both of for Danish
Mhm.
Soul. I like them a lot. They
Uh-huh.
also have a cover of the ending credits theme from Persona 3 as well.
Mhm.
Pretty good.
Because I feel like
Yeah. Agreed.
they could build a lot, like a like a whole, like let's say they ran with Persona 4 story. I mean, just that as a TV series,
Live
like live
action, I
action.
don't know, man. I don't think it would. Persona 4 or Persona and anime in general kind of go hand in hand.
Hmm.
It's kind of like they're kind of conjoined at the hip. Can't take one away from the other, if you ask me. I mean,
Yeah.
there are live action JoJos on
Mm.
like Japanese Netflix, and they look like whatever. If I'm being honest,
Yeah, I understand
They
that.
have made stage reproductions of Persona,
Yeah.
and those are interesting.
Hmm.
those are interesting. One of the cool things, especially with the Persona 5 one, is that every time they go to a different place
Hmm.
to do their little show, the protagonist is a different name.
Yep.
If you go to the wiki, I believe they have every single different stage name used.
I love that actually. That's
It's
amazing.
fucking
Yep. Well,
so
we. Oh, go ahead.
no. I was saying like it would be better as an anime, but I think they only ever got it right once, and I'm still very critical of Persona 4's anime personally. That's
I think
just
it's
me.
great.
Yeah.
I love it. I love every episode and every second of it. I rewatch it all the time.
Yeah.
I was actually watching it yesterday. I put in the Blu-ray and started watching it again because I'm just
I
like,
have
oh,
the first volume. I never got the second one, which I wanted to because it had Yukiko on it, and it would have been pretty cool to have them together. Like
Hmm.
one
yeah,
of the dream ideas, I have those two with their like figure counterparts in front of the boxes.
yeah.
Hmm.
It would have. It was a cool thing because I have a Yu Narukami Figma figure from Ultimac, and I've been trying to get a Yukiko one, but I've been out of luck. Although maybe they'll make more given the remake, but who knows?
Right.
They will. They will for sure. They did with
Oh yeah.
3, so they'll do it with 4.
Yeah. They'll change a lot, or they'll bring out a lot of new things that. I mean, they'll have I don't know,
And maybe
bunch of
they'll
new
even
characters and
re-release
stuff.
the anime because that's
Yeah.
another thing that like it's so expensive, dude. Like I think like part 2 on the
Mm.
Blu-ray is like actually $200.
Nuts.
Yeah, I just had the regular DVD. By the way, I didn't even have the Blu-ray. Like that's how early it was on it, and I just missed the boat for the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I am thrilled that you guys were able to show up. I know Levin, it was kind of timing was weird, so you didn't get to
freaking
talk
time
too much
zones.
about it. Yeah, right? Who does that? Who has time zones?
Hate them.
But I'll ask you guys one more personal question each. But do you guys, whoever wants to go first, do you guys feel that um Persona gets love and respect it deserves, or do you think it's not loved as much as it should be?
Mm, I think they do get loved well enough,
Hmm.
especially by critics. The only people that don't deserve it are some of the fans because they are. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Never associate me with this fan base because they say some of the dumbest shit.
Hmm.
And I guarantee you, when 4 comes out, the discourse over characters like Naoto or Kanji, you know they're coming back. Those takes are coming back. I've already said my pieces on those characters many times,
Hmm.
but like, no, these guys are gonna go like, this is my correct opinion. If you're wrong, you're a bigot or whatever. Like,
Bro,
no, dude.
the way that Persona fans talk about Persona games, you think it's the fucking Bubsy series.
Yeah, Bubsy.
They're like, oh, this game's fucking
Oh,
trash. It's
terrible
like,
timing.
what?
I went down the wrong tube. No, how do you feel about Persona? You think it's loved, or you think it's not respected enough?
Yeah, man. No, I think even with the stupid critics, I always and not critics, like again, mainstream media, it's adored.
Right.
And it's like honestly, it's one of the things the mainstream media actually gets right, and it's what introduced me to Persona was hearing old like Greg Miller on IGN back in the day on his podcast Beyond talk about Persona 4 Gold and stuff. Like, okay, I'll try this out, and sure enough, like some of the rare times like critics were right, like, oh yeah, you were right, this isn't a fantastic game.
Right.
But I always assume the people who dog on it a lot haven't actually played the games. And the
Yeah.
same thing goes for what Levin was talking about, like the whole Naoto and Kanji Discord stuff. If you play the fucking game, it's very obvious what they're doing. Very obvious. It's not a thing. It's not social commentary on transgenderism. It's slight social commentary on like homosexuality, but even then it's more about masculine identity. And if you play the fucking game for 10 hours, like, if we're not even talking about like deep into the game, this is fairly at the beginning of the game, it's very obvious what it is. But then a bunch of SJWs on Twitter grab hold of this stuff who haven't played the game and take quotes out of context and then want to just argue about it and stuff like that. So, and it's really frustrating too, because that's part of what makes Persona 4 specifically special, is that it had the balls to talk about stuff like that in 2008 Japan.
Yep.
Like talking about a pretty conservative place, and they're like, nah, we're going for it. And they even had like the infamous deleted scenes of like, you could have romanced Yosuke and stuff like that. Like, they were experimenting with some stuff, and it would be interesting to see if that stuff does make it into the remake. I don't think it will, but I think it would be really cool if it did, because it just give more options, like expand it more. And Japan is a different place now. I mean, Tomodachi Life just came out and they have non-binary options right there, and anyone could get with anyone in that game. It doesn't matter. So like, the world is definitely a different place now. So it would be cool to see that stuff, and whoever wants to get upset with it, like, if you're upset that Naoto is a girl and she identifies as a girl even though she went through the whole thing, my answer to you is play the fucking game. Because there's a reason she was doing that. It wasn't because she didn't feel like a girl in a girl body or whatever. It's because she fucking wasn't getting respected at work because she was a female, which is a real thing that people go through. Nothing to do with transgenderism at all.
Yeah, I agree.
I hope Yukiko gets more respect now. That's all I'll ask for.
Listen, I love Yukiko, but like, girl, get over yourself. You're inheriting this historical inn. Like, stop complaining. You want to go fucking
Social Link, my guy. She literally comes to that conclusion and decides to willingly take care of it.
Yeah, but like, it takes her way too damn long. She's all like, I want to go cook and travel the countryside or some shit.
Yeah, because she was just going off of like, what would I do to make me feel more satisfied with myself? So then,
I like it too. It's less relatable than some of the other ones. Like, I actually relate to Kanji a lot. I really like his whole character arc with, like, because I like cute things. I like stuffies and things like that. So the whole but it was, especially in like that time period, like 2008 to like 2015, being in high school in that time of like, you go to school and of course all the jocks and stuff are like, oh, what the fuck is that anime shit? Or, like, what are these keychains and stuff? And you do get picked on and bullied for that. So it was very, very relatable, and it was very disheartening to see.
Now we all love Dragon Ball Z and shit like that. Fuck you
now
all. I know you said.
It's totally different now. Like, now you can like whatever the hell you want. Now, if you don't have a Labubu, you're made fun of. So it's just wild how a 180 on social like comment, like just the social cues and norms have shifted in the world. But I guess that's a roundabout way of saying, yes, I think it gets the respect it deserves. It's just people who haven't played the game that disrespect it. They just take things out of context to push their own agendas.
Persona fans playing their game, that goes hand in hand. I mean, why do they hate the game? Because he's actually playing the game. He's doing more than 85% of the Persona fan base has and beating the game.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's true that
don't count.
And I don't even mind. Like, I totally understand watching Let's Plays. Like, I've done that with plenty of games before, but I would never. And this is just me personally, because there's a difference when you're holding the controller and you're locked in. When you're watching a Let's Play, especially of like a 60-hour JRPG, dude, you're not fucking paying attention. Like, most of the time, you're like hearing things and like looking at things, but you're not actually like
Locked in.
experiencing it to kind of be cliche about it. Yeah, locked in is another good way of saying it. So that's kind of annoying too, of like, if you said like, oh yeah, I've kind of like secondhand experienced this, it's like my wife will sometimes be like, oh yeah, I watched you play that.
Yeah.
And then she knows about games because she watched me play it. But then I wouldn't say something like, oh, I hate that game because I watched this Let's Player play it and it looked like trash. It's like, you didn't play the game. And you didn't make those choices, especially in a game that you make choices. Like, you make choices in Persona 4 and how you react to things. So, like, being upset that, oh, well, this went down this way. It's like, well, yeah, they made a choice to do that.
Right. Yeah, like if I'm gonna now, like if I'm watching somebody Let's Play a game, it's like just to see if it's something I'd be interested in. If it, if I'm watching, I'm like, this is really cool, and I'm like, drawn into it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go pick up the game. But it's like,
Yeah.
if I'm like, I'm not picking me up as much. I'm not, drawn into this. Maybe it's not a game that I want to get right now, or maybe in the future I'll get. But it just, I don't know. If that makes sense, but. But I want to thank you both for being on this episode. I know that Persona 6 hasn't got a release date yet. Persona 4 has, so we'll see how that one is. There's a lot more games this year that are turning either 40, 30, 25, 20. There's a lot of, years, which is nuts to hear.
Gaming's getting old. Yeah, it's
Yep.
we're getting there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's a pastime now.
Yeah, right. Hell, but we're I guess we both are on a Persona or doing a Persona podcast together. Where can they find that at?
Well, the Persona podcast, which is recording right now, I've been live streaming the last couple hours. You can find that on youtube.com/that1andrew. That is where my podcasts are posted. And then also, I think now that summer break has officially started and I'm just a free man for the next 2 months, probably gonna stream some. I started a Let's Play of Persona 4 Golden like 5 years ago. I don't know if I'll do a Let's Play, but definitely Persona videos in the future. I do a lot of unboxings and like merch review and stuff. So if you're interested in that, you can go look at all that stuff. I got some things that, believe it or not, I've seen Persona fans. I'm using air quotes right now. You can't see because my camera's off. But people who have been fans of Persona for the last 5 years, I'm like, okay. And they like to call themselves like, I'm the biggest Persona fan. I'm like, no, you're not. But I have things that some people say are like, they'll say, I don't even think this is real. And I'm like, oh, well, I have it on my shelf right here, so I think it's real. So if you want to see any of that stuff, you can check out my channel.
Yeah. Levin, what are you working on now? Where can they find you?
On Twitch, whenever I do have time to stream, I've been playing KOTOR 2. You want to play the best Star Wars experience?
Should remake it.
You have that one? Yeah, KOTOR 1 is probably the greatest Star Wars game, but KOTOR 2 is the greatest Star Wars experience outside the movies.
Interesting.
Too bad
like that.
KOTOR 2
I said what needs to be said. It has the most profound moment in the series too.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck with Disney.
No spoilers, okay?
Yes, I know. I'm just giving you the one you can actually want to play it.
You're hyping it up right now. You make me want to go play it.
Yeah.
I will be possibly streaming Persona 4 Golden at some point. I got a bunch of mods that are really cool. I got a music randomizer, as well as like an expanded music track list that plays some OSTs from the anime.
Oh,
which is pretty cool. I heard.
You know what I actually want to stream?
What?
I want to stream that Persona 3 Reload female mod.
That is something I should consider as well.
Because I've seen it and it's actually like legitimately good. Like the amount of work they've put in, it's almost insulting that Atlas was like, they made that excuse like, we don't have time to do it, but then people within a year modded it and it's like serviceable. It's ridiculous, actually. It pisses me off because I've always liked the Fem route better. Anyway, sorry, Levin. It came into my brain. I thought I had to say that. So
cool. Yeah, dude. No, the mod. Oh, that's the other thing. Why makes PC gaming also pretty fun, because if you can get a game with a healthy modding community, you can get some crazy shit. Like, I mean, Golden's got some good mods. There's some good I got some Persona 5 mods. Like one of them, my favorite one, the Coke Zero mod. It's every drink, like every bottled beverage, is replaced by a Coke Zero bottle. Which at first, like, this is just funny, but now, like, I actually do drink Coke Zero sometimes. So it's like,
It works.
yeah,
The advertising works.
enjoy the advertising, assholes. Now give me some. I'll take my free Coke Zero, or I'm taking my service with the Dr Pepper.
Yep. I can't do Coke Zero, Dr. Pepper. I'm sorry. Ugh.
I like
Mount,
both.
Mountain Dew, if you're watching this, which I highly doubt, because
I like Baja Blast.
y'all can. I drink Mountain Dew like it's going out of style, so I'll take all your monies from Mount.
You give
If
me
you want to
that
help me
Big
out.
Red. Only Andrew might know what that is.
Big Red. Yep.
Of course, I know what that is. Yeah.
Big Red and barbecue, it goes hand in hand, my guy. Texas barbecue goes perfect with that.
Well, I want to thank you all for watching, and thank you all for being here. And
Yes.
hopefully, in the future, we'll connect our social links again.
Oh, I like that. That was good.
Thank you.
Rank up.
See y'all later.
All right. Yep. Goodbye, chat.
Bye.